What is up, Shadowteers? It's your boy ShadowKiwi back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a blessed day, because I know I am. Remember, you are awoken again by the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, guys. So, in today's video, this is kind of a different one. So, I am going to react to Eyecraftmc, every Redstone component in Minecraft 1.20, because, like, your boy needs to get good at Redstone. Like, guys, I suck at Redstone, bruh. Like, bro, I didn't even know honey could be used. What is this? Alright, so yeah, what I'm gonna do is try to, like, learn all these components at one place, because I want to be good at Redstone, okay? So, I'm gonna start right now.
Redstone is an awesome part of Minecraft, but it's something that most players don't know too much about. So in this video, I'm going to explain how every redstone component works, and how to use them to make
let's subscribe to this guy and like it. Alright, let's play.
Amazing machines in this Minecraft Redstone guide. Let's check it out. Redstone is different in Java and Bedrock editions of Minecraft, and everything explained in this video is for Java edition.
Gotcha.
Parts of this video will certainly apply to Bedrock edition, but this information is most accurate for Java edition. So I'm going to go over every single redstone component here, and then after I've explained how it works, I'll show you how to use it in a build. We're going to start with redstone dust. This basically transfers a redstone signal. We can place it out just like this. Placing one piece down and right clicking on it will change between the wires going in or it just staying as kind of a single lump. If we go like this, then we can kind of connect it to other pieces, but overall doing it like this is only about if it's a piece of redstone by itself, because it'll automatically link as it needs to if there's other pieces around it. Next, we're going to go on to the redstone torch. We put down the redstone torch right here. You'll notice it connects up to our redstone here. But as we place more redstone dust down, you'll notice the signal gets weaker and weaker. From the brightest point here to the dimmest, it goes 15 blocks. So let's say we had an item here we were activating, like right here. That would still work, but one block further, and it would just be completely off, and we couldn't activate an item that's right there. So that's basically the distance that a redstone torch can travel redstone. Now let's make a small build out of a redstone torch. We can make a very simple clock, although this will kind of phase itself out. A clock is something that turns on and off, basically. What we're going to do is we're going to have a torch here. Then we're going to have that connect up to a piece of dust. That then goes into this block here. It'll have a torch here. Then the signal from the torch will go here, over to here, to a block here. We're going to place a redstone torch right there, and a piece of dust here, and it'll basically make this turn on and off just like this. Although this kind of clock isn't very useful, as redstone torches have an interesting functionality of burning out. So what it means when a redstone torch burns out is that if it's turned on and off too many times, it'll just stay permanently in the off mode. Although it does seem that this specific clock is not making these burn out. So there's our simple build with a redstone torch. Now on to the block of redstone. Now the block of redstone provides a constant power supply, not actually unlike the torch, but it's basically the torch in a block form, and it can't be turned off. So if we place redstone around here that touches it just like that, you can see that turns on. And the thing about a redstone block is that it's often used with other blocks, and redstone kind of travels through blocks. So this block right here, every single block that touches it will also be powered. Now, it won't be visibly powered. Of course, this grass block isn't going to turn on and go do something for us. Obviously. But what it does mean is, let's say where these grass blocks where we had something that could be powered, like a redstone lamp, and I'll describe that in more detail later, it will turn on any of the blocks that are surrounding it, but like not here, for instance. So that's kind of what the redstone block does. And we can kind of use it in a simple little contraption. So if we have the block here, what we could do is we could have a little system where this redstone block can stop the signal of this. So we could put this right here, and that'll permanently power that on, and now this isn't going. Now, of course, there's way more uses for this, but overall, that is a block that'll just always power anything next to it. And this is often used with pistons. Next, we have the repeater. Now the repeater will extend a signal. That's most useful with something like this. If you see here, the torch goes to this, and right over here when the power runs out, if we put it here, well, it won't do anything. But if we put it right here, it actually turns on and goes back up to full signal strength 15. As this is the lowest signal strength of 1. This just turns the signal strength back to 15. We can make this go over here, and once it runs out again all the way over here, then we can place another one of these down to make a very long redstone line. But as well as extending the signal, this repeater adds delay. It adds what's known as 1 tick of delay. And you've probably heard people talk about ticks in Minecraft before, you may know what they are. But if you don't, Here's the brief explanation. A tick is basically something that happens 20 times every single second in Minecraft.
Yeah.
And it does different things, like let's say having different items go on and off. It's just kind of a way of having time be measured in the game. But with Redstone, there's things called Redstone ticks, and there's 10 of those in every second, or for every 2 in-game ticks. But for all you have to know is that every single tick is a 10th of a second. And what these repeaters do is it adds a bit of delay. So the repeater being like this, it adds 1 tick of delay. If we right click on it once, then it adds 2 ticks, 3 ticks, and 4 ticks.
Oh,
so let's
2,
say
3,
we
4.
had 3 of these in a row just like that. That would add 1.2 seconds of delay, which means let's say we powered it on here. Before it got to over there, it would be 1.2 seconds. So just like that, you can see that was about 1.2 seconds. And of course, if your computer is lagging like crazy, it might not be exactly 1.2 seconds, but that is what the game is trying to calculate it as. And so of course, this is super useful, because what we can do is we can do that to delay a signal. Let's say you wanted to explode a piece of TNT, and you didn't want it to kill you. All you'd have to do is place down a piece of TNT, place some repeaters just like this, and then power off the last one with, let's say, a torch. Then you have time to run away before it explodes, and it won't hurt you at all, and those repeaters added that extra time to let you run away. Now of course that's a very simple demonstration of how these work. You can also use them somewhat like how we use the torches here to make a clock. So what we can do, for instance, is we can have 2 repeaters just like this, make them go into each other like that, and they face the way that you're looking. So this would face this way, this would face this way, and it's facing the way this triangle kind of points to there. Then we could put redstone like that, power it on, and then get rid of the torch. And we had to be very quick with this, so I'll just get rid of this and break this and replace it, just like that. And you can see it's turning on and off just like this. That's a simple way that you can use repeaters in the game to add delay and kind of make a little system like that. As it doesn't actually take any time for redstone to travel through dust like this, it does take time for it to go through the repeater. So you can do that to add delay to what you're doing. Next we have
I fear no man, but that thing, it scares me.
a very complicated redstone item, which is the comparator. The comparator does a lot of different things, but I'll go over its 3 main uses. It can compare and subtract signal strength, as well as measure different properties of certain items. For instance, let's get ourselves a composter and some cake, just to turn into bone meal here. And then we're going to find out how this thing works. The first use is the comparison use, and all it asks is, are any of these side inputs, not this front one, but just this one or this one, are they more powerful than the back inputs? Let's put one in right here. You'll notice the signal strength is a little bit lower because this torch is further away. And you can see it's on because this is stronger than that. So if this wire is stronger than this wire, then the signal goes through. But if we put this here and the signal strength is higher.
Okay, wait, alright. He just kind of lost me right there. Hold on. I need to...
Not this front one, but just this one or this one. Are they more powerful than the back inputs? Let's put one in right here. You'll notice the signal strength is a little bit lower because this torch is further away. And you can see it's on because this is stronger than that. So if this wire is stronger than this wire, then the signal goes through. But if we put this here and the signal strength is higher because it's closer, then this will turn off. So you can use this if you want this to compare 2 signals and determine if this is going to be on and off, depending on how strong those signals are. And this works the same from either side. We'll show it here too. Let's say we have this be 4 redstone pieces away, because again the signal strength goes down by 1 every block it is away from our power source.
Yeah.
And let's put it right over here. If we put the torch here, this will still stay on, because this is less powerful than that. Now the second use is subtract mode, which is actually a very advanced use for such a simple item. You can literally use subtraction. So what you basically do is you subtract whatever the power level is from here. This is certainly an advanced use for the comparator, but you can do it. All you have to do to use this is just right click on it, and it has this little torch at the front go on. That means it's in subtract mode. So we'll try this out right here with some easy numbers. Now this, if we put this torch right here 3 blocks away, this means this would be at power level 13 when it reaches here, because that's 15, 14, 13. Now here, we're going to do a little bit less than that, so that's right there. We're going to have this be a bit of a lower number, so we're going to have this be, let's see, 3, 4, 5 blocks away, so that would be 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, and 13 minus 11 is 2. And if you actually look there, that is 2 blocks of redstone that are activated. And you can see just those 2 are powered there, and this one isn't. If we move this 1 further away, so subtracting 1 less, then you can see that's now going 3 forward. Now this is a very advanced use of the comparator, but that is how it works. It basically says whatever the signal strength is of this, minus this signal strength equals the output, and that can work from either side here, with the back being the first number that we're subtracting. Also, a little interesting use of the comparator is that you can't really use it like a repeater, but you can use it slightly like a repeater. So we place some redstone in front of it and behind it just like this, and there's no side outputs. Basically, whatever the signal strength behind it is the same that it is in front of it. So what that means, if we put these kind of alternating between the comparators and the redstone dust, just like that, the signal strength would never go down. So you could technically use that sort of like a repeater to extend that. But let's say the signal strength did go down, we put that right here, then it'll only copy over the current signal strength that was behind it. And finally, for the comparator, almost every single item in the game that can have different levels to it, like let's say a composter or a cake, something like this, or even like a chest that can have certain levels of filling, it has output determined by the comparator. So if we have a comparator up against it like that, and we right click on this, you can see the signal strength goes down as we eat the cake. The signal strength there is going lower and lower, and once we've ate all the cake, then it's gone. With this, the more that's in here, the more power we get out of it. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can just kind of see it getting higher and higher there, up to the highest level that it can be, and we harvest that, you can see it just pops off like that. What's really interesting about the comparator is it can actually read this with all these different blocks, like for instance a chest, how full that is, how full the composter is, things like that, even through a block. So if we place the composter there, next to the block here with this here, and this only works sideways, not like up and down, like we couldn't put the comparator here or something, and we basically start filling this, that will still recognize the fill that's in there and have the power level go according to that.
That's cool.
That's a really cool thing too, because for instance, just for really simple application that I'll show you with the comparator here, let's get ourselves a piece of TNT again, because you can never have too many traps, and we're gonna just make this be empty like that. All you'd have to do to make a really simple trap, place your TNT there, have this be like a wall that people can't see through. Let's say a friend of yours has their composter here, they're gonna go compost some things, and they're just like, I'm gonna go compost here, but little do they know, there's a comparator there, and their entire thing is gonna blow up just like that. And of course there's more advanced uses of this as well, as the comparator is probably the most complicated item of redstone in Minecraft. Next we have the observer. The observer is an incredibly useful item, as it can see if an item changes its state. Now that is actually pretty simple, because, so let's say this block here that's a piece of grass, it's being observed by the observer. If anything changes on that block, anything at all, this observer will detect it and have a redstone signal come out of it. So if we break this, you can see that lantern lit up there just like that. But what this is really useful for is, like, let's say we had a sugarcane farm, and this is one of the most useful things you can do with this is for farms, things like that. Let's say we had it just like this, then when the sugarcane grows at a certain height, that powers on, and we could use that to, for instance, break the sugarcane. But also, you can use this to have an observer chain. Here's an observer chain right here. We simply have these going like this, and the arrow again is which way it's going. When you're placing this down, it'll go with the redstone facing you and the face facing away from you. So let's say we wanted to have this observer look at the block, we'd right click here, it would stare this block here, and it would just kind of place away from us just like that. But we can have the observer observing the observer in a chain like this, and what that'll do is that'll make it so if we have something happen here, that signal will go all the way through, and we'll see that appear right there. So that's a really cool thing you can do with this. Just make sure when you're doing it you can't see any of the faces, because if you do see any of the faces on the corner there, that means the signal will not go through. This is incredibly useful because you could use this in, let's say, water or something like that. You could just have tons of signals being happening to this, and you wouldn't have to worry about, let's say, some redstone breaking. So to show a simple little demonstration of this, we'll break this block here, and that redstone lantern should light up, and we kind of have a working redstone underwater just like that, which is very, very useful if you want to have a signal go underwater. So that's for the main group of redstone. On to the pistons. Now pistons can push things if they're powered. They can push almost any block, except for they cannot push terracotta, bedrock, obsidian, furnaces, things like that. If it is powered on, it'll go like this. It will have the piston go out like that, pushing a block, so we can have this push a block really easily. And the counterpart of this is the sticky piston right here. And the sticky piston can also push a block, and if the sticky piston does push a block, what'll happen is if it's unpowered, like let's say we take this here, we'll have this be powering just like that. And if we power it on, it'll push it, but if we unpower it, it'll actually retract as the other one does, but it'll pull the block with it, just like this. So we can have this block moving back and forth like that super easily. So that's kind of how you use pistons, and you can use this to, like, let's say make a little door. So let's have two sticky pistons like this, two blocks like that. Let's say that's a wall in our house, just like this. Let's say we want to have a lever right here. All you literally have to do is make a little system like this. So we have our power source here connected to the redstone that powers both these, because this one powers this, but then this powers this block, which powers this.
Okay,
What happens if we switch it on, it opens like that, and we go like this, it will open like that. So it'll open and close just like this really easily. And of course, if these were nicer blocks than grass, we could go like this and make a really simple little automatic door. And you can kind of see how we could make this bigger and make an even larger door. And with the standard piston, this could be really good for, let's say, breaking a block you want it to break. So we could put this here, then power it, and it will break that block. Of course, there's a lot of other uses for that as well. Those are some of the things you can do with pistons. Next, we have slime blocks and honey blocks. Now I'll start with the slime block. Slime blocks have a lot of different properties, but the one we're going to talk about today is its stickiness. So let's have ourselves a sticky piston just like this. And we're going to attach to it, instead of another block that's normal, we're going to have a slime block next to it. And of course, we can very normally power this on and off just like this. Again, this is powering this block, which is powering this block. This is powering kind of all the blocks that are diagonal to it, just like that. Or not diagonal, but straight in front of it, just like that. So we're going to flick it on and off just like this. Because this is a slime block, which is quite sticky, we can place blocks just like this, like adjacent to that one. And if we flick it on and off, it'll actually move those with it, just like that.
Alright,
of course, this could get a little out of hand if you had a lot of sticky pistons sticking to themselves and tons of different blocks. So there is a limit to how much one piston can push, unfortunately. And what it basically is it is 12 blocks. You can see there we have 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can see that one pushes there. If we put in one more, that should push as well. That should be 11 blocks. And 12 blocks like this just doesn't push because 12 blocks is too many for that one piston. But that's basically how a slime block works. You can even use slime block to sort of bounce yourself different places. There's some really cool mechanics with that where they kind of shoot you in a different direction, which is really cool, like that one did right there. Now the honey block has some additional uses. It does stick to other blocks, just like that. You can see it moves.
Oh, it does? I didn't know that.
But it will not stick to slime blocks. So if we go like this, we kind of just have that there so we can move it. It will not stick to that slime block there. They do not stick to each other. That's incredibly useful sometimes. What it can actually do is it can move items along with it, just like this. If you want to know a lot more about what the honey block can do, then I have a video that I made all about them and also about how to farm bees. And there's an iCard on the screen right now. And if you click on that, you can watch that video and learn even more about this awesome item. Next, we have some items that are activated by redstone. Now these all are in this list because they can only be activated by redstone. First, we have the dispenser. Now the dispenser can, well, dispense an item. That can be a lot of different things. That can, let's say, just have an item be shot out of it. So we could just put that there. We'll just simply power it on just like this, putting, let's say, a torch just below it. That'll power it on, it shoots it out. But certain items have additional uses. So let's say we have an arrow. This is a really cool use of this. We put the arrows in there, and then we power it on and off. It will shoot the arrows out of the front just like this. And the possibilities are almost endless with this. There's a lot of different items this thing can interact with. Unfortunately, it cannot just straight out place blocks, so that would be very overpowered and cool. But there are certain things it can do, like for instance, if you have a shulker box, you can have it spit that out just like this. That shulker box will be placed.
Wait, what?
You can also do things like placing down water buckets and lava, or even shoot fireworks, place boats, or throw a potion at you. And that's kind of how the dispenser works. Now the dropper is a little bit different. Remember with the first item we put in the dispenser, how it just shot out the item, it didn't do anything with it. Well, the dropper does that with every item. So if we put the arrows in here, and we power on the dropper, we can basically have that just shoot out items just like this. It'll never have any actual interactions with the items, whereas the dispenser, if it can, it will have an interaction with the items. This is really useful if you want to have a system that just deals with items in the game and doesn't actually use them, like let's say an item sorter, something like that. So you can have this just have items go into it and have it spit them out without having any issue of these being used. So for instance, with this dispenser here, you could use it as a trap. We could place down a block here, and we could just have this, let's say, shoot arrows at an intruder and have that hurt them. Or with this, you could have this be, like I said earlier, with an item sorter. That could be really cool use of the dropper. Onto the redstone lamp. Now I kind of showed this previously, but this is more or less what you'd think. It is a lamp or a light that is only able to be powered and lit up by redstone. This is super useful because we power it on just like this. Not only will it power adjacent blocks, which can sometimes be annoying, but is also quite useful, but it also can be used for a lot of other cool things. Like for instance, you could make a 7-segment display with this, just like this, or you could use it with something very simple, like a lighthouse. We could even make a very, very simple build with this. With these repeaters here, let's say we had some blocks around them just like that, and over here, what you can see is that these are going to be powered on and off by that, You could have a super cool machine that has these be powered on and off to, let's say, make it look like a lighthouse. Next we have the iron trapdoor, which is very simple. It's simply a trapdoor that needs to be powered on by redstone. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Next we have the iron door, and it's exactly the same thing. This needs to be powered by redstone, but again, like let's say something like a lever, that would count as a source of redstone to power that on, so you could have that as something to open up your door, or you could just use a torch just like that. And iron trapdoors and iron doors are also a bit stronger than your normal wooden doors.
That's
so
true.
both these items could be good to use in, let's say, a fortified fortress, but something really fun I like to do with these is to put them all in a circle around a pressure plate. And what you can do with that is you can make a fun little trap where you have a pressure plate down, you surround these in the doors just like this, and you have to kind of have the doors be in the right way. I believe they have to be something like this, just so you have the back of the door be facing it just like that. If you go into it, then you are trapped. Well, actually this one I did wrong, but let's see if we can get that to go down correctly. Something like this, I think.
Ooh,
we go down here just like that. We're then trapped in this little iron door machine, which is kind of a fun little thing there. And of course with the iron trapdoors, you could also use them to, let's say, have water go out of it or something. Like let's say we had some blocks go around here just like this, and we had some water that was trapped in here. And we'll get ourselves a torch to power this on, just like this right here should work. If we put some water in there, just like that, we could have a waterlogged trapdoor there.
Oh.
And if we just get rid of this torch, it'll open up and the water will flow out.
Oh,
So
that's
for instance,
awesome.
a use you could have with the iron trapdoor. Next, we have a group of items, which are basically advanced redstone inputs, something similar to, let's say, the redstone torch. First, we have the daylight detector.
Okay,
this
what
will,
does this do?
detect if it's daylight. That's pretty simple, but
Okay.
what it can do is it can also detect if it's daytime or nighttime. We're going to have two daylight detectors set up just like this. This one is detecting day, and this one is 2. If we right-click on it, it'll kind of turn blue, and now it's detecting night. So if it's not nighttime, it will not power something. Now the really cool use of this is something like, let's say, maybe a firework that always launches off in the day. We could do that really simply with getting ourselves a dispenser, putting that below a daylight detector just like this. Of course, you can also have it to the side of this just like that if you want. Then we can get some fireworks, something really simple. Of course, these won't have really anything on them, but that's okay. If we put that on there, and of course when it would turn day, let's say when you first wake up, then that will fire off a firework just like that, and you could have yourself a little system with that. Or you could maybe even have a certain function in your base that only happens when it turns to daytime or to nighttime. So you could turn this into a street lamp, for instance, by turning it on to night mode, putting it on top of a redstone lamp. Then when it turns to nighttime, this would light up, but when it turns to daytime, they'll turn off again, as of course you don't need street lights in the day. Next we have the tripwire hook, which has to be used with blocks and also string. The tripwire hook is a really interesting little item that can be used as well, a tripwire hook, but there's also some other uses for it as well. So to set one up, you have to have a tripwire hook on a block with string between it and a second tripwire hook. Something like, let's say this. You can see now it's connected now that it's gone down like that. If it wasn't connected, it wouldn't look like that. So you can see it's up like that, then it's connected and it's down. But to actually set it off and have redstone go over it, we have to walk over this, and it is now activated just like that. This is really cool because string is almost invisible, so you can have some really cool traps with this, or you can have this be useful for, let's say, a mob farm. For instance, there's like this witch farm, where witches spawn on these, and when they are turned on, then they're flushed down an area because they're activated by this. And what we could do is we get ourselves a little lamp to show that off. We'll put a lamp right here. We walk over this, you can see that turns on quite easily. And of course, if these aren't connected to a trap, they can be quite useful for anything you want to do, where you sense a player or a mob through a piece of string. Next, we have the trapped chest, which is a very fun item. This is literally a trapped chest. If you don't actually know how to craft it, you can craft it with a tripwire hook and a normal chest in your crafting grid.
The trapped
and it basically is very simple, doesn't even need a comparator. All you have to do is just open it up and a redstone signal is outputted from it. So for instance, we could use this in a trap. I mean, it is called the trapped chest after all, so let's get ourselves a piece of TNT, and we could, let's say, put it right below the trapped chest, put it just like this, and we can open it up, and when we open it up, the TNT is lit off. But to make a bit of a better trap, simply place a piece of TNT one block below it, just like this. There's a block below it, and then block underneath, that's the TNT. When you open it up, it'll power this block, which will power the TNT, and it'll still give you a really cool trap. So that's a really awesome item, especially since it looks so similar to normal chests. You could have maybe a player's storage system, and simply throw in one trapped double chest or single chest, and they would never know the difference. Next we have the target block, and this will power redstone if it is hit by any projectile. So let's say a trident, just like that. Or let's say we have even something like a snowball. It doesn't actually have to stick on there. It could also, of course, be an arrow or something like that. And the way this works is it'll output a stronger signal strength the closer to the bullseye of the target your projectile hit it on. So let's try that out right now. We're going to hit this on the edge there, just like that. You can see a very small signal strength was outputted, just like that. Let's say we get very close to the center like this, and there's a very strong signal strength. And this block is of course amazing for things like carnival games, but also for just improving your aim in general, as you can have a really cool item that directly tells you if you've hit these 4 middle pixels or any of these other layers of blocks on the outside, with telling you your success with the amount of redstone strength. And of course you can use this easily with, like, let's say a redstone lamp, where only after 15 strength it would actually light up. So let's try that right now. So just like this. If we can actually hit this on the bullseye just like that, we can hit it right on the bullseye just like this, and that redstone lamp will turn on. But if it's not on the bullseye, or it's really, really close, but not right on the bullseye, then it will not turn on. Next we have the lectern. This can be used with a comparator or not with a comparator, but what happens is if there is a book in it, and of course it has to be a book and quill that's been written in, so we'll just try something here right now. We'll just say, of course, a completely random message, just something that, no one will ever guess, just something just like this, something really easy and nice, and basically we'll just sign it just like that, have it be done, and we'll just go done just like that. You don't have to actually sign it. We'll place it on the lectern here, and when we flip the page here, it will just simply have a bit of redstone output come out of the lectern right here. And you can see right here when we flip the page here, that redstone lantern will turn on for a very brief amount of time. You could use this, let's say, an amazing build or in like a meeting hall, and you have this podium at the front, but then secretly, when you flip to the last page, and you can have this be page sensitive if you have a comparator connected up to it. But anyway, you'll be doing a thing where you're like, let's say, reading a story, and then when you flip to the last page, maybe fireworks will go off, and everyone can see that you're done reading. Next, we have the lightning rod, and if the lightning rod is actually struck by lightning, it simply outputs a redstone signal, much like the lectern would right here. And you could use this for, let's say, a lightning detector. When your lightning rod is struck, then you get a little alert by maybe a redstone lamp or something like that. Or you could also use it for, let's say, maybe if you have a farm that has mobs be converted into other mobs by the lightning, for instance a creeper into a charged creeper. You could have it so that the creeper is struck by lightning because the lightning rod is next to it, and because of the redstone signal, you have that creeper now drop down into a specific hatch because it has now been struck by the lightning. And last, we have the basic redstone inputs. We have the lever here, which is very, very simple. So a lever works by directly powering a block, much like, let's say, this block was powered like this. All the blocks around it would also be powered because this primary block can have power go all around it just like this. So that can be super useful for activating anything really, and because it can be always on or always off just like this, it's incredibly useful for triggering redstone devices of every single type, or maybe even just something simple like turning your lights on and off. You could, for instance, use this for something like that, maybe some lights in your house, and you have a simple light switch where if you turn it on, then your lights will be on, if you turn it off, your lights will be off. And I'd also suggest something like this for, like, let's say the redstone door we showed over here, because although you could use a button with something like this, you can control if it's always open or always closed. But on to the buttons. There's two different types here. There are wood buttons and stone buttons. The wood buttons can be black stone or normal stone, it doesn't matter. And the wood buttons can also be any type. But the reason why we show both of these is because the stone and the wood buttons have different durations that they activate a block for. Let's place down a stone button and click it just like this. You can see it's on for that much time. Let's try the wood button. You can see that the wood button is on for visibly longer because of the greater duration that the wood button has. So if we press both of these at once just like that, this one actually turns off first. And this could be useful for something where you have to activate it one time, like let's say maybe a water dispenser. Let's say you wanted to have maybe a little shower in your house that would have the water be turned on and off whenever you want it to be on or off. A button works really well for something like a dispenser. I'll show you right now. Let's put the water in here. Let's put a lever on one side. We flick the lever. Yes, the water comes out, but then we have to turn the power off and then on again to get the water back put into the bucket there. With, let's say, a button, if we press the button here, then the water will be dispensed, and we press it a second time, the water will be taken up again. And that's because the button activates, then deactivates. Whereas with the lever, it activates and stays activated until you turn it off again. So that's why the button could be useful for things like that. Next we have the pressure plate, which is almost the exact same as the button. And for these, the stone and the wood ones actually have the exact same duration that they're pressed down for. What this could be amazingly useful for is something like, let's say, an automatic door. Just go to the front doors of your house, put pressure plates on the inside and outside, and let's say this is your lovely grass dirt wall here. You just go through here just like this, it automatically opens it up for you and closes it behind you just like that. This is super useful because, like, let's say if we had a lever here, we could open it, go through here, but it stays open. It's not that useful. You could kind of try and look through here, then turn it off. Then again, it doesn't really work that well. It's not a very good system.
Yeah.
With some pressure plates like this, you could simply open them and close them. And you can also do this for normal doors. It doesn't have to just be iron doors. And finally on to kind of the weirdest redstone item, which is the heavy-weighted and light-weighted pressure plates. These only activate if they're either walked over or if a certain number of items is next to them. I'll show you that right now. These pressure plates basically sense how many items are on top of them, which I've never really found to be very useful, but you could, and it just senses that by how much of a power output it gives. And you can do this with the light-weighted or the heavy-weighted pressure plates, which have different numbers of items that you put on it for it to activate. I suppose you could use this for something where, like, let's say you have a mob farm, and it just notices that you have a lot of items sitting there, and then maybe it could have an action happen because you have all those items there. And that is every single redstone component in Minecraft explained. I'll see you in the next video.
Alright, well, I think I probably know a little bit about redstone. While I'm off camera, I'm gonna, like, you know, probably look at this again. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's reaction video. I know this is pretty odd, but I was kind of, like, you know, want to know what redstone practically was, because I was kind of confused. Well, not really. I know a little bit of redstone, but I'm not as good as redstone. Good at redstone. So, I want to create a new world, basically. So, you're probably wondering, why are you in a world with sandstone? The most, it's an okay block. Well, this is going to be the new redstone world. So, with this, I'm going to try to create some, you know, cool redstone projects that Eyecraft have made. Well, Eyecraft have made it, but I want to also do, like, you know, certain stuff, like, here, let me do this. Alright, I wish I knew what color means repeating, but I unfortunately don't. Okay, so... Oh, shoot. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this section will be the repeating section. And after I learned, I kind of want to build a machine. I want to build something cool. It might take a minute, but I feel like it's something I can do. Don't ever doubt yourself. That's something I also need to take in consideration as well. So this is how you make a redstone repeating clock, basically. Hold on, I need my... I don't know if that's better or not, but hey, we're just gonna roll with it. There was also another repeating machine as well that he made, but I totally forgot how he did it. Okay, so this. So I know how to do this. I was doing it. I had another world. I did have another world where I was, you know, I was constantly repeating stuff, which was kind of annoying. So I kind of like had to stop that. Okay, so. Okay, so Eyecraft also did something with another repeat thing. Oh! I don't know if this is the exact same clock you made, but the clock it's doing it. Alright, so that's supposed to be the repeat section. So what I want to do is try to build a machine after watching that video. Because I learned how redstone components work. The hay block sends out a target as soon as you shoot something. And depending, like, you know, if you hit the bullseye, it sends a strong redstone signal. It works! Oh my goodness, it actually works, bro. Okay, so, okay, I thought it's